I'm making this video concerning the St. Malachy prophecies that Tom Horn and Chris Putnam, two Christian angelic ministers that do a lot of research on the end times. I think like 2 years ago they were on this TV show called I think it's called, I forget the name of it now. It's called it's Supernatural. Yes, that's the name of it. It's Supernatural. But they were on this show, and they were talking about Saint Malachi. I think he was a Roman Catholic priest. They said he really was a Roman Catholic mystic. I don't know what that is, but they said that God had put him in a trance and showed him all the popes from his day up to now, and showed him who was gonna be the last pope before the end times. Who this is who Chris Putnam and Tom Horn think might be the false prophet of the Revelation. They were talking about in the Bible, in the Book of Revelation. But the only thing about it, I looked on YouTube and I seen this minister called Brian Carn. He's a prophet. He has to give a prophecy, and some of what he said already, or what he said from the beginning of this year, that already happened about the airplanes falling. Already 2 or 3 airplanes already crashed. But Brian Corn said that God showed him that this may not be the Pope that Tom Horn and Chris Putnam think it is. If that's the case, they might be they might have miscalculated. It might be it might be a Pope. They miscalculated a Pope down. He says actually Pope Francis is not the Pope that they think he is. It's the next Pope. I'm gonna play the video right here so you can see. The homosexual agenda is gonna flourish. Another thing he told me, just mark my word, there's gonna be a health scare on the Pope, but he'll be fine. It's not gonna be bad. The Lord spoke to me and told me, I mean, as crazy as this Pope, you had a lot of people trying to say this is the evil Pope and all that stuff. But the Lord told me that this Pope will be around for a minute, but the next Pope, we need to really be prayerful of. Very dark, not good. See there? He said it's not Pope Francis the one like everybody thinks it's Pope Francis is the dark evil Pope, but it's not him. It's the Pope that's after Pope Francis. So Chris Putnam and Tom Horn is a Pope off. It's not Pope Francis. The Pope after Pope Francis. Only time will tell whether this prophecy was true, but it still would mean that St. Malachy prophecies were still right, even though Tom Horn got it wrong. He was a Pope off, but it still proves that Saint Malachi's prophecy were true. And here is Chris Putnam talking about it right here.
Malachi Morgair was nothing less than a saint. But despite his faith in the mercy of God, he was forced to bear witness to a terrifying vision of divine wrath, a biblical apocalypse that he predicted would occur in our time.
Malachi Morgare was the first Irish saint to be canonized by a pope. He was known to have some supernatural miracles associated with him. He's most famous now for his prophecy of the popes.
In 1139, Malachi made a pilgrimage to Rome to visit the Pope. While ascending one of the city's fabled 7 hills, he was struck by a revelation from God.
And the story goes that he fell into a trance. All that night, he would mention these Latin phrases. Di meditate lunae, flos florum, passer et nautua, di laboris solis. Each one of these Latin phrases would match up to the reign of a particular pope. And in that vision, he saw 112 popes up until the tribulation time, to the end.
And according to St. Malachy's prediction, this end time, following the reign of the 112th Pope, is right around the corner.
We're at 111 now. Pope Benedict XVI is 111.
If Malachi's vision was true prophecy, there will be only one more Pope to follow Benedict XVI, who turned 85 in 2012. In other words, our time may be running out.
Like he said, there's one more pope after this pope. That's Pope Francis. But it's not Pope Francis the one they think it is. It's the pope after Pope Francis that's the evil dark pope. That's the one that Brian Carn said is the maybe the false prophet of Revelation. But it's not Pope Francis.
But why should we believe him? Malachi didn't just predict the number of popes before the end of the world. He also predicted who they would be with startling precision.
And what you find is an accuracy, I would say, that exceeds 80%, which I can tell you, that got me fascinated by these prophecies, and that he's one of the greatest prophets I've ever encountered. And what makes it amazing is he gets more accurate as he gets to the end of the list. In fact, some of the ones more recently are quite astonishing. You have Benedict XV, who's called by Malachi Religio Depopulata, which means religion devastated or depopulated. In his reign, the Christian faith was decimated. 25 million people dying from World War I. It's also the time of the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. And scholars say that 200 million left the Russian Orthodox Church to join the Communist Party. Religion depopulated. After him comes the papal giant, John Paul II, who is called De Laboris Solis, which means the sun's labor through eclipse. He was born in 1920 on a total eclipse. Then when he died, he was actually buried during a solar eclipse as well. Obviously, people can't manipulate eclipses, so apparently Malachi really did see a vision of the future, and you would have to be divinely inspired, I would say, for it to match that accurately. That seems to be a little more than coincidence.
Malachi's prophetic precision continues with the current Pope, Benedict XVI.
Number 111, the final numbered motto, and that is De Gloria Olive, the glory of the olive, or from the glory of the olive. There is a group of Benedictines called the Olivetans. Their symbol is the olive branch. The glory of the olive would be the highest ranking among them, and there he is. We thought, Malachi's correct again, and now there's only one more pope in the line. We are very close to the end of this prophecy.
Malachi's prophecy concludes with the succession of Pope Benedict by a man who will herald the end of the world. Malachi named this final pope Petrus Romanus, Peter the Roman.
The prophecy for the 112th Pope is, in the extreme persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will sit Peter the Roman, who will nourish the sheep during many tribulations. And when they are finished, the city of 7 hills will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge his people. The end. And that's quite an ending. And it seems to intersect with biblical prophecy. The Malachi prophecy matches the book of Revelation in chapter 17 with the city of seven hills being judged. That being the case, it seems to me that it's predicting the events of the book of Revelation. Now, if that's true, then during the next Pope's reign, we will see the tribulation period predicted by the Bible.
Brian Curry also, Brian Carn, I mean, he also predicted that there will be a civil war in the United States of America. I'll probably do another video on that showing people that collaborate with their prophecy. Some of them will be preachers and some of them won't. But I'll see you next time. God bless.